Okay, so we're here to do your reading for the month of August, and I'm dealing with white noise in the background, so I hope it's not too loud. I've had brekkie. I was starving because I had food poisoning, so I couldn't eat. We are here to do your report, which is going to cover you for the whole month. Now, it does cover your romantic sector. So for couples, singles, and those of you maybe on the fence or going through a separation, and any details that can come up with that, as well as for those of you in your employment sector with the frequency of what to do if you're unemployed, those of you home businesses, hi Giggle. So it's quite a comprehensive report, and I'm going to keep it to about the 16th. And that's because of time constraints. And if you want further details for the rest of the month, feel free to book a reading and see how these aspects fall for you. So the first energy, hi, how are you? We're going to cover the energy first based on dates and what the major aspects for Scorpio are and what themes can be playing out for you. Then we'll get into couples, singles, those of you on the fence. We'll move further into the energy. We're going to cover your chakra energies as well and how to keep sane this month and deal with the heavy energy. Now, some of you may have been experiencing headaches. It is because we are moving into the third eye energy. So crown chakra, some of you may be needing your eyes checked, things to that degree. There can be major energy situations coming up. We're also moving through the energy towards the Lionsgate portal. So it's a culmination of things where you're moving through this energy into this new energy of unknown, but you're really going to have a lot of devil in the detail coming up. Now, on the first day of the month, we have Mercury in Cancer in opposition to Pluto. Now, there's yin and yang happening on the first. For me, in Perth, Western Australia, I am actually, in that energy already. But for you guys that are in America and London, you guys are, a day away from that energy, but themes around that can be coming up. So with that frequency, it does relate to, in the opposition aspect, it's a hard aspect. It's to do with your travel. It's linking in also with your communication sector. But again, third house is, your belief of where you want to go. It's your spiritual beliefs. It's education, foreign countries, travel and purpose, as well as your short journeys, your communication. And it's the yin and yang of both. So really maybe not knowing what to do and, tapping into your emotions and potentially even feeling a little bit confused, Scorpio. But on the same day, you are going to have the sun in Leo, which again is third eye, trining, correct? Yep, Chiron, which is the axis of your 10th and 6th house. Now, you do have major energies coming through with both your 10th, your 8th, and your 6th house, which is majorly linking into your health, your work, your belief systems with things, as well as your career sector and, who's doing the work, who's not. Hi, sweet, how are you? So on the same day, on the first, both to do with your travel, where you're going, where you want to live, whether your work is relating to that energy, however it falls for you, with it being your emotions and the accountability energy axis and what you need to let go of, I'm really feeling you guys are going to be meditating upon it and having to move through things. And maybe there can be some scenarios popping up for you, Scorpio, that you're looking at it and going, okay, I need to look at the bigger picture here. Can I be fluid with this? But you're going to have the energy within Chiron and Aries to be able to deal with it and tackle anything that does come up at left field. On the second, we're having the sun in Leo squaring Uranus. Now, Uranus is going retrograde on the 15th. Any themes I mention, hi Antonella, of Taurus, you do need to be very mindful of these themes because they are quite transformative. And we're having it go retrograde from the 15th. So we're already technically in shadow and it can be very quick where it's coming in. And it is very much to our higher degree of what we're needing. Now, it is linking to your 10th house with the sun energy and your direct contracts. So it's almost like this push-pull energy and having to integrate and bring everything together. So again, you may find with the sun and Uranus and Taurus, some of your hopes and dreams, some of your financial things that are coming up. There may be money going in, money coming out. With that, a lot of the changes that are coming up are there for your betterment. So we can get gifts from universe where if there's been an imbalance and there hasn't been money coming in, all of a sudden those things can come in. And especially because we have Mercury in Cancer, if you have been dealing with home-related dynamics, tying things up, it might have been very testing in a sense at a psychological level that, you know, as we proceed forward to the full moon in Aquarius, again, it hits the 4th house placement. Everything you're trying to achieve is for your future at a financial level. So be it you've been looking at, okay, do I want to buy a house? Where is the home? Are there changes going on? Has your schedule and routine been diabolical? And even, is the proximity close to where you want to work? Because there's going to be huge conversational pieces, you know, moving into 2021 about, you know, shifting. So there can be a lot of shifting energies in accommodation. So with the big changes coming up, again, we do have to be very careful that our intuition isn't overriding the reality situation of the contracts and what the give and take is in it. But you can be quite overwhelmed with paperwork, with trying to get things done, with reading the fine print. And I do feel there's a lot of concentration and a lot of legwork that goes into the beginning of the month for everyone, that it's having to take time during the month to take 5, to breathe, to use the traffic light situation that I suggest for you guys. It's like red, oh my gosh, you know, I'm feeling triggered. Let's breathe. And then go to yellow. Okay, inner child energy, what are you wanting to create out of this? What is the biggest end goal? And then going to the heart chakra, which is, you know, Leo is a lot of heart. So that you can just come from an understanding, compassionate point of view, because we can become very frustrated this month due to so many things going on that we can potentially get quite sharp with individuals. So on this day, yes, something relating to contracts can come up, either in employment. If you're unemployed, I have a section here that I'm going to discuss further on after the dates. And I can give tips and coaching linking in with that, how it can actually help you. So potentially, again, that Uranus and Taurus retrograde effect, it can be coming through. Some clients have actually experienced it already. So if you find you're actually looking at that and looking at the benefits of your connections and what the give and take scenario is, are you working too hard or aren't you working hard? All of those polarities, but really looking at the detail of you're wanting to get the best out of it, but what energy is going to need to transform in order for that to happen. Now, on the 3rd, again, we're having Mercury in Cancer in opposition to Saturn in Capricorn, as well as the full moon in Aquarius. So again, large themes surrounding home can come up. Your psychology, it can be domestic situations. Again, with the day previous, it is linking to your relationship sector and work. So anything you've been doing in these things and what others have been doing, whether the give and take is there. So if you've become stressed and you're having home energy going on, you may be looking forward to 2021 and the future as to, okay, what was and now what is? What are we doing to move forward to be able to stabilize this wider group energy of what everyone needs and all of us get something out of it? Again, because we're going to have Mercury in Cancer, it can be emotional in our communication, especially relating to the heavy responsibility. Now, Capricorn falls in your 3rd house of communication, so there might be fights and misunderstandings or your emotions. It's like really be cautious as to what people are saying. We can't really change what they're saying, but we can change in the way we actually pause and reflect upon what the statement is. But there can also be contracts that you're actually looking at, needing to really adhere to, delays in contracts, so to speak, because it is Saturn energy and it's Capricorn. It can be paperwork coming in, not coming in at time, linking to Mercury, and how you're actually dealing with that at a psychological, emotional level. Now, on the 4th, we're having Mars squaring Jupiter. So be careful with your health on this day. Don't overexert yourself. And again, when you are speaking about what you're wanting to get out of this, if you're dealing with any paperwork or you're dealing with contracts, read the fine print, deal with it like a Mercury retrograde. But again, do remember that you need to keep your health in check around these dates, because the 6th house placement does link into wounds. So health and growth, again, don't over exercise. If you have self-esteem related issues, yeah, joys, eh? If you do have self-esteem related issues or you're feeling overwhelmed, it will go in your favor providing you have kept yourself correct. The 6th house is work environment, habits, routines, health. We deem it as the house of enemies, but if you have learned a karmic lesson and you are very balanced and you've got all your paperwork in order, it can come through. It's just frustrating in a sense of the things you're dealing with. At an emotional level, triggers can come up. So really understanding that you're leaving it behind, you're turning over the new leaf so that you can move forward, right? Okay, so that was on the 4th. Now, as for the 4th, at the same day, Venus will be in Gemini, and it's making a conjunction to the nodes in Gemini. So shared resources and assets on that same day can come up. So if you've been waiting for that to return to you, to end a contract, to finalize it at a documentation sense, it can be coming up either side of those days. But again, the focus will be on that energy. The devil in the detail, very Pluto energy. Okay, I'm wanting to complete this cycle so I can start that new cycle. You'll have the energy to deal with it and it will balance it. On the 5th, you are having Mercury entering Leo, which is your 10th house sector. Now, if, again, be cautious with your thoughts. You'll have energy to achieve things. It will probably be very busy. If you are working on anything you're directly working on, what you'll find is you'll have the energy to do it, but you need to be cautious of overexertion. So if you're getting triggered and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're going for that extra cup of coffee, just try and stagger it with water so that you can keep that third eye open for the balance of that. Also, try balancing the chakra with the food groups that relate to third eye, because you are going to want the strength to be able to continue forward moving through the months. Now, on the 7th, we have Venus entering Cancer. There can be emotions linking to the 9th house placement. Now, it's not that it's a bad thing. How do I place it? Again, relating to home, relating to nurture, because, Cancer collectively is 4th house placement. It is home-related energy. You may be looking at your home. You might be looking at, okay, do I want a home? It is to do, again, with your conditioning. Some of you could even have themes linking into a partnership going to the next level, and that's for couples, singles, and in between. There's a transformation happening there. Where you're ending one cycle and beginning a new one in August, especially since it's moving towards the 7th and beyond. This is the point in the Lionsgate portal where we're finalizing things and we're bringing this new energy in. So again, it's a good day to meditate. It's also a good day to do heart clearing, as well as inner child wounds can come up. But it's also tapping into that, being very nurturing with yourself, and also looking at maybe upskilling, looking at belief systems that differ. Potentially some of you may wish to relocate, and it can be relating to accommodation as well. So having a larger abode. On the 9th, we have Leo in Mercury trining Chiron. It is positive. With this, anything linking into your health, your work, and shared resources, it can finalize things. So because it's trining, it can actually make things flow a lot better on that day. With the flowing of the energy, it's a great day on the 9th to actually feel more grounded. You won't have as much adversity that day, potentially, providing you've done everything you needed to during the month to achieve this point, especially linking into contracts, shared resources, tying up loose ends. You can also, with the Pluto aspect, have things relating to home and plumbing come up. So if you're having that and you're getting the devil in the detail with the paperwork and trying to renew things, there can be huge themes surrounding home for you guys where you're trying to spring clean and tidy things up. On the 10th, we have three major aspects, and that's Mars in conjunction with Black Moon Lilith, Mercury in Leo squaring Uranus and Taurus, Mars squaring Jupiter in Capricorn. So these themes for you guys will relate to your 6th house. So again, check in with your health, check in with your strength, don't overexert yourself. It will bring things to a head and it will intensify on this day. So you may have extra to do. Also linking into the finer things in life and your finances, with your relationships, because it does land in your relationship sector. Any contracts that you're wanting to deal with, if you're trying to look for work or you're looking at the energy of, working through shared resources, it will be hard work, but you're having to continue forward. But there will be lessons, and it's almost like a cleaning up and an auditing of your life. And I do find that's major things to do with, okay, what do we need to let go of? It can be devil in the detail. At the end of the month, you will have higher frequencies to be able to deal with the Virgoian aspect, because we'll have Mercury in Virgo. Where does that fall for you guys? So as to your social needs, your hopes and dreams, if you're trying to build something and you're trying to bring it into a point where it's balanced, it will become more balanced by the end of the month. And it's not to say it's not doing such as we move forward. It's more, you're going to have the mind to see more towards the end of the month. But at the beginning of the month, it can be very intense. And then on the 16th, we are having Mercury trining Black Moon Lilith, the Sun in Leo trining Mars, and Venus in Cancer squaring Chiron. So your career and shared resource, you'll be able to look at the shadow of things and you'll be able to flow with things better. You'll also be able to have the strength to deal with targets of things you're working on, as well as looking at your wounds to do with the past and what the give and take were. And it's almost like you're making peace with situations, but they're flowing better because you're not allowing the past to set the tone of things, really looking at it, and you're more investing in energies that are investing in you. Now, Venus in Cancer squaring Chiron. Again, some of you might be wanting to tap out, go to a different continent, wanting to get away. You can't move away, and you'll have a revelation that even if you wanted to, I do feel many this month, it's just like we need to face some of these things, face the things and proceed forward. Because we know that if that energy is constantly there in the back of our mind, which is very Aries and Chiron, which happens to be your 8th house placement, if you're wanting to achieve certain things at a very financial level, at a give and take level, by facing those details, you're actually freeing yourself, because it won't matter where you go, the energy is going to be there, and we've all been there. Now, let's get into couples, because I do have a client today, and I have goes to do. Okay, so in general, you're going to be more busy than you through the whole month. That's for all. Do expect unexpected visitors. Also, there can be a person moving in or a person moving out. There's environmental changes energetically. There's also a lot of communication coming up with you guys, and it's what you need versus what other people need. It's quality controls. It's a lot of looking at your hopes and dreams. Towards the 20th and the 30th, there can be a lot of subjects linking in with what you are responsible for and what you need to deal with, which can be paperwork galore, people calling upon, people wanting to socialize with you or talk to you via the internet. On the 16th, you're really going to see around that frequency, and I feel it's more to do with your relationships and contracts. Some things can come up and you'll know or no. So whatever that is, it can be yin and yang energy. And it also, providing you've done everything correctly in a sense of your paperwork and things to that degree, and you've looked at things, it's not that it's going to be bad. If it is, it's to bring it good. So just trust the process from the beginning of the month till the end, because that mid pocket when Uranus goes retrograde, it is to do with the luxuries we're wishing to have, but it's also the balance of the mind, body, and soul. That if we can look at that, it will benefit us by the time we move forward. Now, September will be heavy because we do have Mars going retrograde, and that will be hitting your 8th house sector of shared resources. So if you have done everything, some of you may just in general be tired, and suddenly, yes, money can start flowing in, and you can actually relax, recoup, and psychologically look at that process. But again, it can be a more busy time as well. So if you haven't, get all of those energies done now, especially at a physical level, because it can be hitting that sector where a lot of old frequency comes up. Now, belief systems are going to be under the microscope for those of you that are coupled. I do see that a lot of you guys in connections are looking at what you want versus what they want. And to do with the bigger picture of things, self-esteem can be coming up, your belief systems, your resources, what you have at your disposition, subjects to do with land. I'm also seeing the axis of what it's moving you towards is to do with the bigger picture of, you know, your daily routine. You will be doing a lot of hustle and bustle, but there is going to be more socialization and there can be more money going out. So if you do find you're spending a lot on things that entertain you, be cautious with it, because you do have Aries in your 6th house of health. So if you do find that you're going off food or onto food and you're needing pacifier energies this month, be it coffee, chocolate, whatever it be, just keep that in mind and tap into the grounding energy of Capricorn. So get your base chakra in alignment and go into the solar plexus and sacral chakra for the clearing of it, and it will help you deal with things. But there can be expenses relating to home. I'm also seeing expenses on children, on connections, and things to that degree. And again, with home energy, by 2021, it will be pretty solid, but there can be massive changes linking to that. So some of you, yet again, may move, but it will be to a larger situation. It can even be to a different city because it is Aquarius in that energy. But overall, it will be something that's suitable for the situation of where you're at that point. Okay, tension can come up in connections, especially because of the frequency of where you want things to be. Now, your belief systems and your self-esteem may have related back to previous connections. We do have Sagittarius in your 2nd. So that is transforming. Even if you went through a separation or there was something that happened in your current relationship, it is transforming and it is moving to a deeper level. You also can have a lot of upskilling, but there's something in that self-esteem house of transformation that's gearing up, ready to happen. I do feel this will more happen towards the end of the year, but it's psychologically already happening now. It has been popping off since about May. But as for what you're wanting to do, there could be even proposals. There could be taking a situation to the next level. And during this time, you may be looking at your belief systems to do with children, to do with luck, to do with romance. And again, real caution around that, because we have Neptune and Pisces at the moment. When it goes direct, there could be unexpected pregnancies. So if you aren't wanting to have children, just be super careful surrounding that. Now, as to if there's tension in the connection, let me look. With scenarios popping off with Mars and Aries and Chiron and Aries, it's hitting your health sector. So if it's at a self-esteem level, old energies come up, old routines come up, and you're assessing it inside the connection and you're triggered, you need to be very cautious in your communication ways, linking in with all that you talk to. Because they potentially could be, if there's a push-pull or a wound linking to health, it may be coming up around this time surrounding these contracts and surrounding your romantic interest. You're needing to pay close attention in the way you communicate with people around you, because of this tension energy and the ego energy coming through in August. So if a relationship is not built on a solid ground, between now and the end of the year, it can cause a lot of frustration. Now, with the 8th house being Gemini, a lot of you that are single might be looking at changing in the way you are relating to other people, reflecting upon it, what your needs are, where you want your life to be, how you want things to look, and what happened in previous connections. So financially speaking, I do feel there's this huge level up. Some of you might feel a little bit stagnant, where you don't have that get up and go. And that can be due to the fact that we have Aries in your health house, of, you know, being able to achieve things during ascension. That's really what it's going to come down to. If you can keep going, you will get the benefit out of it. It should ease up by mid-month. And you'll find that even with communication, because we have Aries and Chiron, anything that wasn't done in a healthy fashion, I do feel many of you can be hearing from people from the past, because we all have an Aries and Chiron placement. So especially with Taurus, if you had money that was owed to you, this can come through. Also, if you were separating things, dividing things up, those things can be dealt with during this time. But I'm feeling many of you will have communication with a lot of people that may be romantically interested in you. I also feel through your social circle, you guys are not even knowing so. You're focused quite on the future. There could be a romantic interest that tries to make a pass at you. But you're really wanting to have someone who's more like-minded. And where's Libra for you? Yeah, between now and October, there's a lot of psychology between the imbalances of what was and what isn't. You guys might have been meditating upon previous relationships, previous scenarios that the give and take wasn't directly there. But I do feel, let's have a look at your chart again. Where's the best days for movement and communication? Yeah, I'd say the 10th, I'm seeing. The 10th of August. The 2nd, there can be movement, but there can be tension. But by the end of the month as well, you're really going to have opportunities to actually clear up scenarios. And I do feel with your 11th house activation, you will be able to understand more so where people are coming from. So if you felt there was miscommunication and you needed to tidy something up in a sense of talking to that individual, be it in couples, singles, or in between, a lot of communication will come up. And you'll be able to really see the window of opportunities for where you're going and you know, where you want to live, how you want life to be, what the hopes and dreams are, and seeing whether you are or aren't on the same table. Now, with your health, you need to pay close attention to it, especially with food. There can be allergies coming up. There can be sensitivity. There can be a need for you know, you to feel quite grounded. Is it to do with your environment? Is it to do with scenarios and paperwork that you're dealing with? It can even be food, but it does feel vibrational. So really pay attention to that axis of Aries, you know, within your health sector, and really reach out and have the support to people around you, because your shadow energy is needing that support. So more towards the end of the month, you may feel a little bit more social, but you can be called upon more so towards the end of the month. Solar plexus are really heavily activated. And some of you are just working too hard. You need to, you know, take time out. And the working hard can be on yourself, you know, being very critical towards yourself, looking at things, feeling triggered. You can have a lot of push-pull where you're feeling very empathic and understanding, and then coming back down to the no, I need to create healthy boundaries. So just be really mindful of that. With this self-esteem frequency, try not to run. Don't bite off more than you can chew this month. You will find that enough will be coming at you as it is. You don't need to start brand new endeavors if you don't have to. If you can. If you have to, you will find between now and the end of the year, it can be a lot of energy hitting your 3rd house. So there will be a lot of travel, a lot of movement, a lot of needing to fine tune things, which regardless it's going to be there. But if you can really fine tune that and eliminate it, it will benefit you. Now, for those of you in your career sector, yeah, many of you are assessing, where you're at. So even if you're working, many of you are having a lot of situations going on relating to emails, communication, maybe potentially working from home. But again, with the Cancer axis, it can be some of you moving buildings, the building directly moving, going to a larger group. Some of you might also be looking at moving towards a larger company. And because we do have Venus in Cancer, which is entering on the 7th, it can relate to this. So leading up, if you're feeling this job isn't resonating with you, or you need to transform it somehow, themes to that can come up on this stage. I'm also seeing that some of you are looking at your career sector. You may have been focused in other areas, and now it's almost like you're needing to look at the foundational effect. So if you have found a way in which to manifest income in and not have to directly have the traditional employment energy, you can be doing that. There can also be importance relating to documentation, and I'm seeing keeping that there for taxation purposes, making sure all your documents are in order. Another energy is that maybe you were doing more work than what others were doing and you weren't getting the give and take out of it. So this sector for you guys is transforming, and I do see a lot. Some of you might have a sudden redundancy, or there could be a boss moves and then you get an upgrade. So, with that placement there, it can happen in many levels. If you're not working, suddenly you may decide to, and it can be somebody calling you in to assist them. That's what I'm psychically seeing. I'm also seeing another energy where you totally want to switch gears in your career sector and transform, especially with that second house placement of Sagittarius. So if you had a traditional 3D style job, again, over the next 2.5 years, that can be transforming. Some of you may be upskilling, really being that Gemini energy of upskilling and learning. Others of you are looking outside the box of your traditional field and moving towards a new, unique energy. Again, there is this frequency of moving home may directly relate to this place of employment. Let me look closer. Whatever it's going to be, it's really going to be financially beneficial. Some of you had focused on romance very heavily, and I've sort of got this feeling that this is very divinely guided by you focusing the energy into your connections. There can be a rebuild in your connections, and a rebuild, I feel it's ushering in a very balanced romance. So by you ticking this box, I feel it's accidentally manifesting in all the contracts around you at a financial level between now and 2020 at a very balanced level. And it does feel beneficial. So I think once you start pouring your energy into it, it's almost intuitively you feel you need to look at something. I do feel there's a shift then energetically within all the contracts in your life. Now, those of you that are unemployed, anything relating to beauty industry, it can be really attractive to you at the moment. To do with education or upskilling can really benefit you. And if you're wanting to have a home-based business or have any ideas that come up with Uranus going retrograde on the 15th, really pay attention to them and document them down. We are having home-related dynamics. You do have Aquarius in your 4th house. So if you're wanting to have a home-based business, any hard work you do now will benefit you by 2021. You will find it will be really hard. There's going to be a lot of devil in the detail because we do have Capricorn energy and many planets in Capricorn are retrograde. But if you can get the hard work done and the legwork now for that foundation, even if you currently are working at home, what you'll find is by 2021, you're really going to grab large benefits from that situation. Also, like I've mentioned to all the other zodiac signs, look for marketing, media, wider group energy. It can be larger companies. And also tap into what you feel the themes are going on in the collective, because Aquarius is global energy. And it's also to do with thinking outside the box. 9 times out of 10, our idea can feel quite foreign, and maybe it doesn't resonate with what people would think is a traditional job. But I really think have the courage and look at that, because there will be a lot of need to be with the tribe in 2021. But at the same time, it can relate to global marketing and larger groups. Okay. I'm also seeing with the 11th house placement, for those of you that are unemployed or working at home, networking towards the end of the month will really help you. And also to do with your hopes and dreams. You're going to have a lot more clarity to do with your hopes and dreams at that point. Anything else I've missed? I'm also seeing it's almost important towards the end of the month to make contact with particular individuals. Where did I put that ruin? I've got the ruin here somewhere. I've got paperwork everywhere. Okay, this is the ruin for the month for you, and it's apple. Third eye for you comes up, throat chakra, but also more from eating, okay? Because I'm seeing almost like, oh, what was I saying the other day? It was similar to Gemini. Malanta. Shirley Malanta. It's, you know, the energy of nervousness can come up. So make sure you're drinking maybe peppermint tea, something to really calm your gut. Caution with things that maybe you have allergies to. You can be very nervous in that energy. Really, because even when I was tuning into the Gemini energy, it was like, oh, heartburn, which is really the strength and the ego with the thinking. But your stresses during the month, if you're finding it, drink hot water, put mint in your tea, and something to really calm the stomach, and chamomile. Something to ease the nerves. Now, this links to apple, barley, and it is the god in. Okay. I'm telling you. Where's that 5th house? I'm telling you, be careful if you don't want... Be careful with fertility right now. Potency, latent energy, Kundalini awakening, gestation, Kundalini or serpent power, intensity and creativity, intimacy, and the deed. I'm just going to say it that way because this come up a few times. You are rebirthing a new life, but also do be careful, because some of you, you've got so many health placements. If you don't want a baby, some of us can't. We're lucky for that. Others of you, if you're not wanting to, be very careful, because there is a climax to this coming through. But it's also to do with the reality of you making peace with your inner child wounds, of you looking at your ability to co-create, of what you're wanting to move forward to in life, that you do have the tools to be able to achieve it, both at a financial level. Even if people have betrayed you in the past, it's still there. You also have the 8th house placement of Taurus there, which is within your connections and contracts. Can they bring to the table the give and take, reciprocal energy? Yes, accept that. Now, if your Kundalini is awakening, I just get this feeling. I'm going to pull one card, and yours is the only zodiac sign so far, but I want to show you what I'm sensing. Where are my chakra cards? I'm getting this frequency that something's going to come up unexpectedly. This room is freezing. Okay, pardon me. It generates this, the physical and the psychic response necessary for the productive deed. I'm speaking in code here. So whatever you're wanting to come to fruition will, it's the seed of an idea, it's the gestation, it's the rebuild. Breeding. Some of you will have, I'm feeling psychically that someone you haven't heard from is going to come through. Also relating to paperwork. Yeah, it's a person from the past. You'll feel the energy, okay? I'm just feeling it because this is all to do with the intimate act, Kundalini awakening and union. So if you have wanted something to come full circle, yes, with the Virgo energy towards the month and with Uranus in retrograde, it's squaring Leo. There can be, you know, there's times this month where there's going to be major conversational pieces in connections, in all your connections. So whatever that is, it can be with your mother, father, making peace with it, moving forward, moving into this new way of being, looking at your past again, doing that and really being open. And it is a purge, open to the new that's coming in. But I just feel you're not going to expect it. Whatever this is, however it's coming, for some of you, you are connecting in with an energy of a person you're in love with, and it's like going to that next level. But especially with Sagittarius in the second, I just feel you guys are quite surprised that you're going to get the pulse. If you've had a real crappy time, it's like suddenly someone's going to say, hey, let's get engaged. It sort of feels like that. Love and light, if you're wanting a booking, link is below. Also, I'll come back a little bit later. I've got a client and I'll do some more. The others are being launched tonight, which is for America, the 2nd of August. Yeah. Potentially. Relationships and contracts there and what the work you've been doing. But the squaring aspects, having to have those conversations, you know, it's not going to be bed of roses right away. Home, I learned to my word. All these things we're dealing with is to push all the old away, is to deal with the adversity. There's Mercury in Cancer speaking about our emotions, speaking about home, speaking about family, what the past was. All of these things are coming to the forefront. And then we're having Mercury in Virgo, which is for Scorpio. It's your 11th house placement, which is friends, clubs, associates and aspirations, but it's the bigger picture. Let's talk about the bigger picture. Thanks, Sentinel. Now, as to dealing with serpent power, half the time you'll find that will happen when you're purging. So pre-1, 6th house placement, if you're going to get triggered, you're going to be purging, you're going to feel tired, you're purging an egoic way of being, and you're purging the past, let it go. Let it go, be open, and give birth to this new life that you're about to move into and trust the process. There's going to be triggers during the month, I won't lie to you. If you have them, grab a booking right away. I will come to you for your romance oracle readings as soon as I can complete those. I'm pretty much booked till about Wednesday already, and that's your Tuesday in America. And I'm already at Saturday. So get in now. If you don't, I'll come to you guys on YouTube as soon as I can. As well as, be ready. Love and light.